Hello and welcome back to Verbose Mode by TaxCare here at Shift 2025, day 2. My next guest is Nelly. Welcome.
Thank you, Baruch.
Thank you for coming, and we're going to talk about scaling of leadership.
Yes.
What does it mean? Why does it need scaling? What's wrong with just doing leadership or having leadership, and what are the challenges?
Good question. So I think this story started from probably 2017. According to some of the data, like Gartner, for example, the ratio of employees to managers has been tripled since 2017.
You mean more employees per manager?
That's right. It used to be maybe 5 to 6 employees to one manager. Now it's 15 to 20 per managers. So this is kind of a trend in the industry. It's just doing more with less. Lots of flattening happening in the teams, and companies try to manage bigger teams with more technical managers other than maybe more people managers.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It can be a recipe for burnout, to be honest with you. And that's why I try to, bring this concept to, inform leaders that if you are trying to stay healthy, if your team tries to thrive, you need to find a new recipe for your leadership. You need to find a new playbook. The old rules doesn't seem to be applied, anymore. So, yeah.
Okay, that's very close to home, I would say. So let's say there is a technical manager, not necessarily people manager, doesn't have any formal education on how to manage people, just kind of grew up to this position.
Yep.
And maybe was unofficial team leader as a technical figure and expert, and then somehow find themselves actually managing those people on top of their technical duties instead of their technical duties, but still not someone who kind of was intended from the beginning to go on this managerial ladder, and they have more people managed than they kind of planned to or wanted to or could. What could they do instead, except of resigning or
So you nailed it. So other than growing the team size, there is another challenge that the expectations on managers hasn't been shrunk. They still have to stay technically relevant. They still have to take care of people, well-being of people, and obviously delivering a lot more projects and products on their plate because they have a bigger team, right? So you potentially have more capacity to drive a lot of impact. So this is the challenge. How can we manage it? There are different ways. You can leave your team as a flat, big team and then manage 20 or more people on your own. Everyone deal with you, everyone interact with you, everyone bring all the asks and questions and project delivery to you, which you set yourself for probably failure. You will get the bottleneck and you will have massive burnout. Another solution, obviously, it used to be probably 2017, it used to be Amazon kind of, 2 pizza teams where you actually had a smaller team, 6 to 7 people, which is not applicable anymore. But it used to be the trend, and it had its own challenges. You have a lot of teams, you have to hire a lot of managers, there are dependency between teams, so that also doesn't work. One solution which many companies these days move towards that is kind of delegating through the structure. So you basically have still the large team, but you create your internal structure in the team. This is kind of inspired by Spotify model as well. So you basically create pods or squads inside the team. You have tech leads driving each pod. They own the delivery, they own even technical mentorship for engineers, they remove the blockers, they just have full authority to own the problem scopes. And all these pods are here to contribute to your product.
How does it different from hiring more managers, except that the managers that you appoint are not really managers?
Yeah, so managers have a lot more responsibilities. If you actually consider main roles of managers, it's just setting the long-term direction for the team, making sure that you take care of the stakeholders, you know the direction of the team, you know all these, people management as well. Like that's another thing, which tech leads are not going to do that. So they basically own the technical delivery, while managers kind of take care of the full picture, the holistic view of the team. And your team is basically broader than before. You have a bigger mission, you have a larger product to drive. So basically you step up one level and try to drive the team through multiple hands. You're not juggling, multiple balls with two hands. You create more hands through your tech leads. So they help with a lot of problem space, technical ones, but still you're the overarching alignment for the whole team.
That makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned when we spoke earlier that you also had an opinion about AI, how it fits into that, and this is very interesting for me because I can obviously see how it can help, and I can obviously see how it can hurt. Mm-hmm. What is your take on that?
Sure. So I look from leadership perspective to this AI things. Again, looking at the industry data, according to McKinsey 2025, I think, they actually revealed that 47 days of the year is going to be spent on administrative work for managers. So the load of admin work is just quite high on managers. You can imagine a lot of small things that they're doing, which takes time. It's 20% of their time, maybe once a week, 1 day in week, which is quite a lot. So using AI, you can boost your productivity. And I'm not talking about sci-fi managers, taking over all this work. I'm just talking about smaller steps that managers can take to boost their productivity. Let's be practical, right? So you go to your one-on-one meetings, you come back, and there's a giant thread, like a Slack thread. You have to read, you have to understand what was happening, but you don't have time. In 2 minutes, you have to go to another one-on-one. So using a Slack AI basically just helps you summarizing the whole thread, coming up with the bullet points, action items, questions, and you can deep dive wherever you need it. Another example, meetings, right? Meetings is the horror probably situation for managers. You have a lot of meetings per day. I had last week 2 days workshop. I couldn't attend, and it was a design workshop. So I completely missed everything. Previously, it was really hard for me to catch up, but these days I use Loom AI, and I look at the transcribe of the meeting. I look at all the action items, all the questions, discussions. I'm not even going to people to ask what was happening. I just look at the those context, and then I get more information. Then I go to engineers to verify, is this something happened? Is this what happened? And I verify my understanding basically. So all these small things augment my capabilities, augment my capacity, so I can use those times which I used to waste, in my opinion, to actually take care of my team, take care of my, bigger vision in my team, technical and, relevancy for my team. So I think boosting productivity is really critical. And speaking of technical relevance, that's a big challenge for managers. They don't have time, and they're not many of them are not really hands-on to understand what was happening with the industry trend and tech landscape. So using AI, I just speed up my learning quite a lot. Like for example, you can ask OpenAI to send you bite-sized lessons every day. I have 5 minutes to read and learn, and it sends me all the lessons. I can use Google NodeLM, listen to all my articles in a form of podcast. I can interact with the podcast. So it basically accelerates your growth and learning. So managers used to be really under pressure. I think these days, using AI, they can grow quite a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense, and there are a lot of useful general models that can help the summarizing of emails, of conversations, the summarizing of meetings with action items that are already prepared for you. This is all very, very useful as well. Time management, generally, one of my favorite tools is Reclaim AI. Are you familiar?
No, not
No,
that
this
one.
is a planner, like a calendar replacement.
Okay. Yep.
And what it does very efficiently, it has the model of a semi-hard meetings that you can say, yes, I need this time in a day, but it doesn't necessarily need to be in a special time of the day.
Gotcha.
And then your calendar looks completely open for everybody else, although you do have this commitment. And as your day getting filled up, and you have less and less slots to fill this commitment in the end of the day, it will be put somewhere, and then it becomes block time.
I see.
So it is flexible as much as possible, which is actually very, very powerful because you don't need to, you're still very flexible towards other people, but you are sure that this time will be protected in the end.
Exactly.
And it can be anything from focus time to lunch. And speaking about managers and their struggles, finding time to eat can be problematic. So it doesn't really matter if you eat lunch at 12 or at 2. And if someone needs to have a meeting with you at 12, your lunch will automatically be postponed or something like that. But in the end of the day, you will have this time no matter what. So this is very, very powerful.
That
and
probably works with managing different time zones as well.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Time zones.
Yeah, that's one of the admin works that, like probably you can save a lot of time. And all this 5 minutes time that you're saving at the end of the day, it's just maybe 2 hours per day.
Exactly,
No.
exactly. No, I'm a huge fan of those guys. I do the scheduling for Verbose mode using using Reclaim, of course, and those habits that, hey, this is something that I need to do, but you can move it around is very, very powerful for the busy managers that are not necessarily in control of their calendar. It looks like you are in control of the calendar, but actually everybody else is not you.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. I used to manage it on my own, manually, but I'll definitely look into that.
It can also help with focus time and with task batching.
Right.
So when you want to do something that is similar in nature, you want to have your meetings in one part of the day and then your solo work in the other part of the day. This is also something that they can help with. So yeah, highly recommend it. Don't have any stock or interest there, unfortunately. Folks at Reclaim AI, I'm open. Give me some equity, but yeah, it's just pure love.
Speaking of time management, I think there is another essential thing for manager, which is communication.
Yes.
So you basically need to amplify your communication, especially when you are under the pressure. Like, we all know that communication is important, but when we are under pressure, we actually lose the momentum, lose the empathy, maybe, like sometimes provide feedback that can create friction point. So using some of the agents, like for example, maybe Gemini, I used Atlassian Rovo, agent. So you can basically share your feedback, get it back in a proper format, like situation, behavior, impact. It creates, like...
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have time, so you just snap something.
Yes,
And
exactly.
obviously on the receiving side, they don't have the context.
True.
That you don't have time. So passing it through AI that will rewrite it
Yes.
to be a little bit less snappy is so easy. And there is, it's an easy solution to a very, very
It
hard
is.
problem.
And it's a reminder for you that these are the things that I need to remind myself to consider all the time. So it's a good coaching as well, for especially new managers. There are some agents that you can actually do the conversation with them on communication. They try to play, role play with you. Try to bring difficult conversation. You can try different scenarios. So it's actually really good for new managers as well.
Absolutely. No, this is also great advice. Nelly, that was absolutely awesome.
Thank you very much for taking time.
It was very useful for me personally.
Thank you. Same
I
for
hope
me.
for the folks back at home as well. If you are watching this, stay tuned for more amazing episodes. Verbose Mode by TaxCare at Shift 2025. And with that, see you very, very soon. Nelly, thank you again.
Enjoy your shift.